They arrived at the merchant's hut, where Sebastian introduced his companions to an elderly woman named Elia.
Elia? This is the Merchant of the Woods.
You were expecting a man, weren't you?
Yes, and someone less wrinkled, with a shop full of weapons.
Forgiving Yoshka's indelible charm, he does have a point. Were you robbed?
Allow me to show you something.
The old woman reached into a brown leather bag beside her. She revealed a fine blade.
My gift to you. The rest will require a fee.
Thank you kindly. But your bag is clearly empty. What more have you to sell?
Empty? Is it now?
She reached into the bag and retrieved a bow. Once more, a spear. A third time, a shield. The group stood in silence as she returned all three items to her bag. Her empty bag.
I don't believe it.
This bag reveals items as readily as said items are ready to be revealed. It is that simple.
Years later, your literal bag of tricks still amazes me.
I will provide weapons and armor. I ask only for fair payment.
Well, you speak as though you plan to join us.
You fear I will slow you down?
Let's just say you don't. The question remains, where the hell are we going? We're off to find the sun and send the old man to the god who crafted a legendary sword. A god I'm not so sure I believe in the first place.
Oh, Hadur is very real. The Firesmith King of the Copper Forest.
Do you know how to reach him?
No, but I do know who can. We must go.
As they left the great forest, the old woman revealed their destination, a fortress known as Balványos. There, they would find a Taltos to lead them to the land of the gods. After many miles of complaints from Yoshka, they reached a bridge. A very broken bridge.
This should not be like this.
No, it should not.
A woman drew near. She spoke in a somber tone. A tone of great loss.
A curse has claimed this path.
More curses? And who are you?
I'm Kella of the Stonemasons Guild. Well, formerly.
Your reputation precedes you. Even I know of the stonemasons.
We built Deva Fortress, but not without sacrifice. Great sacrifice.
Yes. A dark enchantment created this castle.
And a dark enchantment has ripped it apart.
Going around Deva will cost us days.
Then we still pass through it.
No, you don't. Not without a fight. A very supernatural one at that.
We're really not done fighting ghosts, are we?
Ha! If it means fulfilling our quests, I should hope not.
Very well then. I will join you, for there is much more to tell.
And then they followed an old woman and a mason into a haunted castle. No one is ever going to believe this.
The swirling whirlwind atop this castle. What was that, Keller?
Our destination. My hammer, Stoneheart, is locked in place there. Without it, I'm not only useless to you, I'm also unable to lift the castle's curse.
We need only pass through.
Yet, you will not pass without the curse being lifted. And lift it we shall.
Are you ever going to tell us what actually happened here?
Yes, at least what I know. But let's get moving first.
Do you think we'll see the villager we spoke to? He said he was headed to Diva.
Then he was headed toward his doom.
No great loss. There was something off about him.
While you could use some lessons in empathy, I also tend to agree with your assessment of his persona. Something off, indeed.
I sense the presence of the living. Assist me. I await your rescue.
Rather presumptuous, isn't he?
And yet, I'm very curious.
I'm so used to fighting skeletons now. Their rotting flesh makes these fellows so much more personable.
Easy.
I must know more about your lovely intangible armory there, Elia.
My bag. You just want to know if it's really worth stealing.
We met such a short time ago, old woman. Yet you know me so well.
I can't believe I've never asked myself. Where does that bag come from, Elia?
The story of how I attained it is for another day. But would you believe it was found at the battlefield after Thade's underworld invasion?
That actually sounds plausible. If so, it's very likely a tool of the underworld.
Yes, for all we know, Urdug's own personal blacksmith hands things to me through the ether. Having no idea he arms midworlders preparing themselves for war against his own kind.
How devilish of us.
Well, Urdug literally is the devil. So what goes around comes around, I suppose. Look, I don't know how it works, but as long as it gets its gold in return, it seems to be happy. Speaking of which, you look like you want to spend some right now. I thought you'd like to know. New items are available.
My freedom awaits.
You sure this is a good idea? Letting whoever's in there out? It's sealed up pretty tight.
Worry not. You will be greatly rewarded.
We'll have you out in no time.
The companions opened the door and looked upon the four-legged beast inside with wonder.
You stare as though you have never gazed upon a griffin.
A what?
In most cases, I would have killed you on sight and fed you to my children. But a griffin is not without his sense of gratitude. I did promise you a reward. This feather.
A feather? Is it too late to lock him up again?
This priceless feather is imbued with the power to lift any object it touches with ease. You're welcome.
I suppose we should also thank you for not eating us.
Do not tempt me. You have no idea how hungry I am. Each of you very likely faces a grisly death within these walls. If desperate, perhaps I may return to feast upon your carcasses. But may my gift help delay such an outcome for as long as is possible. Farewell.
That creature sure has a knack for memorable farewells. I'll give him that.
I think we know just where to test our new gift.
Remarkable! I'll need one of these for myself once we've saved Operencia.
My favorite book.
Do you even read?
It's my favorite book because it always reveals a secret room. Every castle it's in, every time. They must sell them in bulk. Well, damn it.
I didn't live this long by failing in battles.
Stay down.
That was Captain Ferdinand, defender of this castle. It speaks well to your skill that we did not perish.
Oh, I'm sure we'll have plenty of other chances for that.
My lady, we have reached your hammer.
Thank you, Mezei, Knight of King Vakar.
You know of my kingdom.
Of course she does. She helped build its castle. I was there.
Anna!
In the flesh, so to speak.
Help me release you. Free my hammer.
You will have that chance, if you earn it.
How many of them are under your control, Anna?
Of those who betrayed me, only Boldijar escaped my wrath. And yourself. Though that will soon change. I have opened a door. Enjoy your reunions.
I have so many questions.
Ask me as we camp. For now, be ready for anything.
In all my travels, never have I seen such a monstrosity.
Anna is one with this fortress. She controls every stone.
On the bright side, he doesn't look very smart.
Then again, Yoshka, it is smart enough to wish you dead. Maybe I could learn something from it.
Ha ha ha.
Barely broke a sweat.
As the companions rested, Keller revealed the story behind Deva's decrepit state.
For centuries, all of Operencia revered the stonemasons for creating some of the greatest structures known to man. Any task bestowed upon us, we gladly handled with unmatched mastery and skill. We never failed, until one day, not so long ago, we did. There is a reason so few live between Deva and the Great Forest. A curse has lingered for so many years, time itself hides its origin. Yet King Vakar, the very man you serve, Mezei, insisted on expanding his kingdom here, with a castle so grand, it would rival the greatness of his own. We believed we could do it. The curse, it believed otherwise. Day and night we worked, but whatever we constructed by day collapsed. Whatever we built at night fell to the ground by morning. My second-in-command, Boldijar, had studied the dark arts in his spare time. A hobby, he called it. And from that, an unfathomable solution emerged. With the right mixture to our mortar, he said, we could defy any curse. Its key ingredient, the warm blood and bones of the next person to set foot on this site.
And that person was Anna.
Not without much debate and many harsh words, I assure you. But yes, Anna.
A stunned silence consumed them, until Sebastian could no longer handle his pent-up rage.
You sacrificed a poor girl for pride?
And the price is being paid as we speak. The endless night empowers her tortured soul, though I do not know what set it free. Nothing more will I say of this now.
But you will say more. There's more to this story.
If we didn't need you to progress, Kayla, I'd shoot an arrow straight through your chest with no hesitation.
I would not stop you.
I would.
I know that's a lot to take in, everyone, but we must move on.
Agreed.
It cannot be. Benedek?
Did you know him, my lady?
Once. But now, I...
Kayla!
Well, look at that. He remembers you. I'm touched. Really.
Benedek, only in a mindless state do you show any degree of backbone. Your end is nigh, coward.
Do not let your feelings cloud your judgment.
I assure you, Sebastian, this connection only fuels my fire.
Now, we must move on.
That's the most peculiar wine dispenser I've ever seen. And I've seen a lot of wine dispensers.
The ropes circling each receptacle feel very deliberately placed.
And why is one rope a different color than the others?
Have fun trying to open that without the right key.
It's at the red ring. Nothing happened.
Maybe if it's even with the red, not past it.
I don't see how that's possible. At least not without wasting perfectly good wine.
It is possible, but not without wasting perfectly good wine.
That was almost witty, Meze. I didn't know you had it in you. It truly pains me to see good wine spill out onto this evil floor.
Not evil. Vengeful is more accurate.
Sure, vengeful. You want to focus on the problem at hand?
Did you see that? It moved to the other receptacle.
But it's not as high. Only 3 rings up.
What happens if it gets to the red?
We almost have it. Closer. I know you see it now.
By the gods! A key!
Sweeter than wine in our current situation.
Debatable.
Garui, my brother, may you finally rest in peace. Mati, Marton, you both disappoint me so.
What a waste of life.
Oh, that one seems so nice.
Sometimes I wish I excelled at things other than taking life. You said those masons disappointed you, Killer. How so?
Mostly Mate. At first, he opposed the idea of sacrificing a human being to erect this fortress.
He stood with you. I understand.
He changed his mind, partly due to my own misled urgings. I never said I was free from blame here.
At least you admit it.
on our farm, but I do believe this one is my new favorite. Father used to tell many stories of foxes. Fascinating creatures.
These are the first birds I've seen since the curse set in here.
I once caught a fish that spoke. It begged me not to eat it. I did not oblige its request.
Let it never be said I failed to keep my promises. That would only be you, darling.
Anna, I thank you.
Keller approached the mighty stone heart trapped in the rock. Before she could touch it, the enchanted tool exploded from the rock that encased it, in a flash of blinding light. It fell to the ground. As Keller reclaimed her hammer, she felt no sense of solace, only solemn determination.
The hammer's magic will reinstate shattered pathways, such as the one beside us. From there, we'll collect any chains we see. Once we have enough, I'll imbue them with a spell that will allow us to trap her.
I must admit, that is impressive.
I couldn't help but notice, Keller. The spirit called you darling.
Finish your story. This was no random individual chosen to sacrifice, was it?
The enchantment required the chosen individual to be one of our wives. We agreed it would be the first to visit the site.
And your wife was Anna. Interesting.
She never visited me on the job. Never. I let my pride take over. And the assumption it would be someone else.
How do you live with yourself, Kayla?
I don't live with myself. Only with pain, misery, regret.
What's done is done.
I regret what has happened. I may regret what we must do even more. Magic chains will hold her in place to quell the curse, not lift it.
But not without chaining down your heart. I get it.
Forward, then. We need more than this. say we're halfway to what we need. Look for more chain.
It was an honor.
Blacksmith's forge. We have an enchanted chain to make.
Keller started to work. The flames escaping the forge seemed not of this world. Who knows? Maybe they were not. The mason's eyes glazed over. A trance consumed her. Each precise strike amazed her companions. Was she channeling the gods?
We have what we need. No, not that. Chain. We need chain.
I know things ended terribly, Keller. But there must have been some good times between you and Anna.
The best. Shortly after a curse consumed the sunken castle at the lake, my fellow masons and I were en route to a new job. Anna appeared before us, disheveled and starving, but so very beautiful. She said she had just been used as a pawn in a battle of brothers, that King Breck had chained her to a carriage he forced her to pull, as though she were a horse.
It can't be. Your Anna is the very same one who shed the tear to start the curse. The one for whom the Lake of Anna is named.
It is called that now, isn't it? Yes. She was one and the same.
Such tragedy in her life. And her death.
But that time we had together, just a few years. Yet they were the greatest moments of my life. No great structure I will ever build can match the loving bond we forged. I can think of no better way to die than by her hand, ghostly as it may be now.
But it does not have to be that way.
No, it does not. The sad irony of her vengeful spirit being set free is that it allows us a chance, however slight, of eventually bringing her back to life.
If she needs a mobile skeleton's body to inhabit, We know a place.
Yes, Yoshka. She knows that place quite well herself.
Your hammer is called Stoneheart, Kayla. I sense a story behind that.
You're a bright one, Meze. Have you heard the story of the shepherd named Paul?
Well, that's one Father used to tell us. Paul was strong enough to lift a tree by its roots. Oh, we could use his help now, come to think of it.
Indeed, we could.
I would even settle for his slightly less powerful companions. What were their names? Ah, yes. The Tree Comber, the Iron Kneader, the Stone Crusher.
You have already told half my story, young one. The Stone Crusher is particularly of note. The stories say he could grind the hardest stones to powder in his bare hands. It is also said these three companions thought Paul dead in the underworld. Upon his return to Operencia on the back of a griffin, he killed all of them.
How else is one expected to treat old friends?
Magic powered each of these beings. And you now gaze upon the heart of the Stone Crusher.
The glowing green stone. Is it hot?
And there, dear Knight of Honest Homeland, is where my hammer gets its name. I grow tired of discussing my own life as we camp. Meze, I should like to learn more about you.
I'm afraid there is not much to tell, my lady.
It is as though you can relate to my own stories yourself. I sense great tragedy in you, Meze.
And I thought I was tough on the kid.
You're not wrong, my lady. It all started when I had a dream. A dream I refused to tell my father when he asked about it. Much to his chagrin. It just so happened that King Vakar passed by our house as my father scolded me. He too grew curious about my dream. He even took me with him to his castle, begging me for hours on end to tell it to him. I refused.
Good gods, Meze. Even our young companion here didn't hesitate to tell me he's here because of a deer dream.
Hey, please. Continue, Meze.
My refusal led King Vakar to immure me within the castle walls.
Like Anna. Only without any magic involved. Just Vakar's vile nature.
If not for Vakar's lovely daughter, who bribed the god to leave a stone loose, I would have surely perished. When an invading army attacked the castle, the princess set me free to deal with the threat. I did all I could, but was taken prisoner. The invading king challenged me to a battle of wits.
Wits? How in all the middle world are you still alive then?
Because my dream foretold it all. I knew all that would happen, and I knew all answers. Had I shared any of my dream with anyone who begged to know beforehand, it would not have unfolded the same way.
This king you speak of, is it King Fondor? Recently deceased?
The same. He died by my blade.
Meze is a kingslayer?
Another pair of former brothers. I grow tired of this.
We all do. But we're almost there. Keller, are you ready for this?
Can I ever be?
None of us can. I do not approve of what happened here, but know that you have our support. All of us.
Ready the chains.
You have earned this battle, my love. But you will not live through it.
If I were doing this for myself, I would not want to. But all life is at stake. I take no pleasure in this.
You will perish.
All around us, death.
How could you?
The world once questioned our love. Many still do, I'm sure. But love unites souls, I assured her. Ours, most of all. She trusted me with all her heart, and I betrayed that trust. No longer. These chains hold your soul in stasis, my love. When this is over, it will be revived. It will be more alive than ever. And if you can find it in your heart to forgive me, I hope that it may unite with my own soul once more. But until that time, you, heroes, may have my hammer on this noble quest, if you will take it.
We will. Happily.